What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the latest episode of Games Up Podcast, and welcome back again to another episode of our EGX 2016 Indie Developer Interviews. And this is a very special episode for us. My name is Cameron McCulloch-Keeble. Hopefully you know me as a third of the hosts of this show. And for this episode, we're going to do the first ever catch-up episode we've ever done. This time last year, we went to EGX 2015 and we were lucky enough to meet a company called Madfellows who were developing a new type of music game called Aaero. Now, when we were looking over and doing the preparation for EGX 2016, we saw their name with Aaero back on the list of developers who were going to be on the show. So, of course, we had to seek them out and we had to get back in touch with them. And we had to find out what they've been doing over the course of the year and what Aaero looks like now. So I'm going to hand over directly to them and let them tell you about the year they've had with Aaero. This is Madfellows. We're joined now on the show floor of EGX 2016 by Madfellows. Tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, my friend.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm the creative director at Madfellows.
Great. And what's the game that you're here to tell us about?
Well, we're here again this year with Aaero. We were here last year, and we're pretty much finished now. So what we've got on show here is the final game.
So tell us a little bit about Aaero. Tell us what it is, where it came from, all that kind of stuff.
It's a rhythm action music shooter. I know that's a bit of a mix of genres, but so we try to concentrate on elements of music gaming that haven't really been done before. So it's very kind of analog movement. So instead of tapping in time, you're following ribbons of light in time with synths and vocals.
Okay. So you were here last year showing off the game. What's happened over the course of that year? What is different about Aaero now?
We were expecting to have released by now, but we're a bit perfectionist on the polish. There's always something else I want to finish off before it's done. Mm-hmm. So the main thing is the performance on the console versions. We're up to sort of 60 frames a second throughout the whole game on PS4 and Xbox One. So that's where the majority of the work's been. But that plus just extra polish. Mm-hmm.
So would you say there's a real sort of a real attitude of like perfectionist polish at the studio in general?
Yeah, well, being a sort of a micro studio, there's only two of us now. There were three for a while, but we had an artist join us for a bit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's a bit of a balancing act between getting all the content done with such a small team, but also getting the quality bar up to where we expect it to be. Mm-hmm. So coming from AAA game development, we're not used to seeing anything go out that we know isn't sort of up to scratch. So yeah, we've held it back for a while to get the extra polish in. We're really happy with it now. It's in certification at the moment. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're just waiting for the big rush of games to get out of the way in the pre-holiday period, and then yeah, we should be out early next year.
And you were telling me before we started this interview that you were sort of aiming to avoid the idea of day one patches and that kind of...
Yeah, we because with an indie game, I mean, with something like Battlefield, people know what it's going to be eventually. If there's problems, then people will, they'll moan, but they'll stick with it. With an indie game, and it's a new IP, you can't really expect that kind of grace. So we want, if people support us and buy the game, we want them to have, a smooth and polished experience straight off the bat. I don't think indies can really recover from a bad launch, so we've just been holding it back so we're sure that it's ready to go.
So in a way, you're trying to make the very best first impression you can.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think you get many second chances. I mean, you see around you, there's so many indie games here, so much like high quality stuff that yeah, we want to make the biggest impression we can.
Yeah, we are surrounded by a great deal of indie talent, and it's really nice to see people who are sort of still on the show floor, whether for good reasons or delayed reasons, but like it is still nice to see that talent still there.
Yeah.
So you were telling us just a second ago about coming from AAA games. Tell us a little bit about your history in the industry.
Well, both myself and Dan, the co-founder of Madfellows, we've worked together since about 2000. Mm-hmm. Initially at Codemasters on Tocker Race Driver, Colin McRae, that sort of thing. Then after that, we both left and went to Freestyle Games, working on DJ Hero. I worked with Neversoft on Guitar Hero on their DLC for a while. And we just felt it was time that we branched out and did our own thing. And I think Aaero is we play to our strengths with kind of racing games and sort of speed as well as music. So
I was going to say, you really can see the history of Aaero in the history you've made with music games and racing games. You can see how the two combine very easily. That's really interesting.
Just sort of play to our strengths. Again, with just two of us on the team trying to do a console game, it's a pretty big like tall order.
Yeah, yeah.
play to our strengths for this one.
So my question for you is, like, what's next for Aaero? What's the next step? What's the next phase that you guys have your sights set on?
Well, we're looking to release early next year. The game's pretty much done now. If the demand's there for extra tracks in there, we'll put some DLC out. We're not obviously cutting anything off to sell back. We're doing the best we can for the release. And yeah, after that, if we'd love to work on a sequel, we've still got loads of ideas happening, but we'll see how it goes down. I'm not sure how big the market is for music games, and it's quite niche. It's quite opened up now. It's quite accessible. Everyone that plays it seems to get on well, but yeah, we'll see how we get on, really.
Great. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit more about Madfellows and where we can find you and social media and all that kind of jazz.
We're at Madfellows Games on Twitter. If you search Madfellows Games on Facebook, we're there too. Would love to hear from anyone that's interested in this sort of thing. The more people we can get the word out to, the better.
Great, excellent. Well, also, if you're struggling to find them on Twitter and things, come to the Games Up podcast Facebook and Twitter page. We've got links to both of them. I think we follow each other and all that jazz. Thank you very much for joining us again. We wish you the best of luck with the game. It was fantastic when I played it last year, and it looks even better now. And we'll see you post-launch, I guess.
Thanks ever so much.
Thanks
nice
very much.
To you.
Cheers. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the very first catch-up episode that Games Up Podcast has ever done. Thank you so much for tuning into it. We really appreciate it, and thank you so much again to Madfellows for once again letting us talk to them about their game, which looks fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. I've played it for 2 years straight now, which is a cool thing to be able to say. If you liked this show, please consider liking this episode. It lets us know that we're doing something that you enjoy, and it allows us to keep going, which is really useful. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any of the episodes that we have left of our EGX Indie 2016 interviews, because man oh man, the last one is a doozy. We also have some social media channels that are linked in the description down below, and we'll see you next week for another catch-up episode from EGX 2016. But until then, the game's up.